everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Vlogmas 2025. I am so excited for this upcoming month of content. So if you've been following me for a while, you would know this, but if not, I like to vlog every day in December for Vlogmas, but I like to come out with weekly vlogs. So I'm definitely not going to be coming out with videos every day in December. I could never handle that level of commitment, and I admire booktubers who are coming out with videos every day because I know quite a few of my friends are. But yeah, this level of commitment works so much better for me. Oh, you might see little Lena down there. Hey, Lena. Hi. Hey, baby girl. She's actually my sister's dog. My sister recently moved in with me and is living with me. So there's little Lena right there being a cutie patootie. But yes, I'm very excited to be vlogging throughout the month of December and coming out with weekly vlogs documenting books that I'm reading and what's going on in my life. This December is going to be kind of busy. There's a lot of things going on specifically in the middle of the month, but I'll talk about all of that when we get there. So today is Tuesday, December 2nd. I did not vlog yesterday because my Mondays are always like work oriented. And then when I come home from work, I'm exhausted. And like last night I came home at like 10 and I promptly crashed for a good 8 hours. And I woke up at like 6 a.m. this morning. My sleep schedule has been all over the place. Recently, like this past week was Thanksgiving break, so I really didn't work at all. The studio that I work at was closed because they follow the school schedule. So they were closed during the whole week of Thanksgiving. And then all of my voice students, I have a private voice studio. I teach voice lessons. All my voice students wanted to take the week off as well. So I had a very chill week last week. But what happens when I don't have a set schedule is that my sleep schedule gets really cuckoo poo-poo crazy because I'm a night owl. And so it got to a point that I was staying up until like 8 a.m. and then sleeping until 5 p.m. and doing it all over again. Like that happened for a good solid few days over this past week. And so now my body is trying to reset and get on a normal schedule again. For today, I don't have too much going on. I am going to get my hair done. Very excited. I have a hair appointment at 2:30 this afternoon. I definitely need to get my hair cut. It probably doesn't look too bad on camera right now, but it's been like 5 months since I've had a haircut, and I definitely want a fresh cut for the things that are going on later this month. Like I said, I'll talk about those things later, but let's get into a reading update. I am so excited about reading again. I feel like I was getting kind of into a slump. Really the last few months, I feel like I've been feeling a little bit slumpy, definitely over the summer. I only read like a few books in June and July respectively. But now I feel like getting into the fall season and then into the holiday season, I always get more and more excited about reading for some reason during those seasons. So specifically, I've been in a huge historical romance mood. I definitely will be reading lots of historicals throughout December because that is like all I want to read right now. I did randomly just finish a spicy holiday novella called A Very Killer Christmas by Layla Faye. This is kind of book 2 in a little holiday novella series that she is coming out with. I read the first book in this series last year called, I think, A Very Stalker Christmas, and I loved that novella, and I mean loved, like absolutely obsessed. I did talk about this novella in a Christmas vlog that I filmed last year, so I'll link that up in the cards above, but I loved that novella. Just a very sweet and sexy romance about this man who stalks this woman who lives in his neighborhood. and how they end up getting together. And this one is a serial killer romance, as I'm sure you can tell from the cover. And we have our main character Rowley at the very beginning of this novella. He has just killed someone he's been paid to kill, and he gets caught by somebody else who's living in the house. He didn't think that anybody else was living in this house, and so he just panics and runs from the scene, and he's very worried that he's going to get caught by the cops. And so he sees this house nearby that looks kind of abandoned, and so he breaks into the house to kind of hide out until the police are gone from the area. But it turns out that our heroine Prudence is living in the house, but she is dealing with agoraphobia and has kind of isolated herself from the world, so the house doesn't look like it's in the best shape because of that. And so they end up striking up this very like awkward yet sweet and sexy relationship, even though he is a serial killer for hire, though he has decided to retire from that life now that he has met Prudence. Because this definitely has the vibe of like a Jessica Cain novella. It's very, has that kind of unhinged vibe, insta love, all that stuff. This was just a very sweet and sexy time. So I gave this 4 stars. And then I am currently working my way through my reread of Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This is book 3 in the Dark Artifices series, which is the 3rd full series in her Shadowhunter Chronicles. This, I realized in the past couple of days, I was rewatching my Vlogmas vlogs from 2023, and I have since realized that this whole rereading experience of all the Shadowhunter books has been like a 2-year project. I literally started my reread of City of Bones back in like November, December of 2023. And here we are, December of 2025, finally finishing up my reread of the Dark Artifices series. And oh my God, I am just loving this reread so much. If you don't know anything about these series, they all take place in different points of time. The Dark Artifices series takes place in around 2012. The Mortal Instruments, which is the original series that Cassandra Clare started out with, takes place in I think 2007, 2008. The Infernal Devices takes place in 1878. Then I want to say the Last Hours trilogy, which I'm going to get to next, that takes place, I want to say around like 1910 or 1905, something like that, the turn of the 20th century. But every time I'm rereading these books, I'm just reminded of how much I adore this world and the very large cast of characters that these series center around. And I am just obsessed and having a grand old time rereading this. Even though these books can get quite devastating and emotional, I'm also just vibing and having such a good time. So yeah, right now I'm on page 222. I think I'm somewhere around like chapter 11. I'm in like the middle of a chapter right now because I was listening to, yeah, I'm on chapter 11. I'm in the middle of a chapter right now because I was listening to this while driving to and from work yesterday. And then, like I said, I crashed right after coming home from work. So I haven't read any more of this yet. It is just about 8:45. Like I said, my sleep schedule is all over the place. I might even go back to bed and sleep for a few hours because I don't have my hair appointment till later this afternoon. I did want to show you guys real quick the beautiful like inside cover of this dust jacket. This was what came with like, I think the first edition of this book. And isn't that like a stunning poster of the cast of characters of the series? So beautiful. And this is also a signed copy to Rachel from Cassandra Clare. I remember this was the first book that was coming out when I was first reading through the Shadowhunter books. So I was very extra and I had to pre-order myself a signed copy of this. I will say when I first read this book, I didn't absolutely love it. I remember giving it like 4 stars, but I do think part of the reason why I'm loving all these books so much more upon reread is now I have access to the audiobooks, and that is always going to add so much more to my experience. Also, James Marsters is the narrator of this series specifically. And if you don't know who he is, he was Spike in the Buffy series and the Angel series. And I think he's doing a fantastic job of narrating this whole series. So yes, absolutely obsessed. Can't wait to read more of this. Then, like I said, I'm in a historical mood, so I'm sure I'll pick out another one to read very soon. So that's gonna be it for this update. I've been filming for like 12 minutes. So I gotta go, and I will update you guys when I have something to update you guys about. Hello everyone, happy Thursday. I am obsessed with my haircut. Oh my God, it's like absolutely perfect. I actually went to a new hairstylist because my friend who had been cutting my hair for the last couple of years, she's decided to dedicate more of her time to just doing hair for weddings and events and things like that. And so she gave me the name of a friend of hers who is a hairstylist, and like I am absolutely in love, obsessed. This is like my go-to haircut, a layered bob, you know? And I also love that she was teaching me some tips and tricks of how to kind of style my like wavy slash curly hair when it's, oh, there's little Nina again, when it's air drying, because I don't like to blow dry my hair, I let it air dry. And so she was teaching me some tips and tricks of like how to basically like bring out my curl pattern. And yeah, so I have some happy mail. I did not order anything from Amazon, so let's see what this is. I'm sure Lena is very curious as well. I can't believe our 18-month Wallflowers read-along is coming to an end. Thank you so much for doing this with me. It's been the best. Hopefully we can do another read-along soon. Happy holidays from B! B, I love you so much. She is from the channel Mama Needs to Read Romance. If you're not following her, what are you doing? Especially if you love historical romances. I mean, she reads contemporary romance too, but I know her for historical. So let's see what book. Ooh, Wild Side by Elsie Silver. Oh, I'm so excited to have this in my collection. Thank you so much, B. I recently read Wild Eyes book 2 and like absolutely adored it, loved it. It's probably going to be one of my top favorite books of the year, and so I'm very excited to continue on with the series. This is a marriage of convenience, a little bit of like a dislike to love vibe from what I understand, and I love these covers. They're everything. So oh my God, thank you so much, B. I also got my book of the month box for December. I have been deferring months lately of book of the month just because I'm just trying to buy less books, and I'm trying to get rid of books too. But I could not resist when I saw that Good Spirits by B.K. Borison was one of the books for December. I'm absolutely obsessed. Like, there's texture on this cover. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the snowflakes have like sparkle, and oh my God, this is stunning. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. The tagline is, he's the ghost of Christmas past, she's not exactly Scrooge. And so I think he's kind of haunting her, but they don't really understand why. And like, oh my God. I have had the audiobook for this on hold for a while, and I hope it comes in really soon because I would love to read this during this month since it is Christmas. And then as a free add-on, because December is my birthday month, my birthday is December 14th, I went ahead and got First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I have read a book by her before, and I remember enjoying it, but the plot of this sounds so good. It's a thriller, as you can kind of tell from the cover. Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want: a doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. And so it sounds like our main character is kind of like a spy. She will take on like a given name and identity, I guess, to try to take bad people down, essentially. And so I was hooked by that premise. So yeah, that's my book of the month box. Let's move on to a reading update. So I've made a little bit more progress on Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I think I'm on page like 300 now, whereas the other day I was on page like 200-ish. Hoping to read some of this today because I didn't get to read any of this yesterday, which makes me so sad because I'm just loving this reread so much. This world, these characters. I could go on and on and on about it. I don't even know if I mentioned this in my last update, but one of the things I adore about this world is that there are so many types of paranormal creatures or beings. I mean, mainly we're following the Shadowhunters, right? Which are essentially humans who have like angel abilities, basically. And then we also have warlocks, we have vampires, werewolves, fae. I think that's everything. And I just love how Cassandra Clare writes all of those types of different paranormal beings, especially how she writes the fae and the fairies. And this series centers a lot on the fae for sure, because there's kind of this Cold War, cold peace between the Shadowhunters and the fae. And she writes her fae pretty much exactly like how Holly Black writes the fae and like her Elfame series and things like that. So very much close to folklore. So it just feels really authentic, and it's just a really interesting dynamic between our Shadowhunters and other paranormal beings. And then I'm also reading a historical romance because of course I am, because that's like the only books that I want to be reading right now besides my Shadowhunter books. This is The Lady Hellion by Joanna Shupe. I believe this was her very first series that she ever published. And what's interesting is that she is known as like the queen of Gilded Age romance. So that's like 1890s in New York City specifically. But this series is actually Regency London. So the 1810s in London, England. And this series is just like the epitome of messy and angsty. That's like the perfect way that I would describe this series. This book though has kind of a different vibe, in my opinion, than the first two books of the series. I've already read those and really enjoyed them. I actually gave book one, The Courtesan Duchess, 5 stars, and that is like one of the messiest historical romances I've ever read. And then I recently read The Harlot Countess, book 2. Really enjoyed that one. I gave that one like 4.5 stars. And that one's messy too, but in a different way. This one isn't so much messy. Like there is angst in this romance, but also like the premise is everything. So we have our heroine, Sophia, and she is a lady. So she is part of the London nobility, aristocracy, all that stuff. But at night she dresses up as a man so that she can go out into London and basically investigate matters that are brought to her attention by basically like working class women. A lot of the women that seek her out are maybe like maids in a household or prostitutes. These are the type of people that normally wouldn't be able to be helped by magistrates or Bow Street runners, like the police, anything like that, because these women just weren't taken seriously back in this time, and they were lower class and, you know, all of these things. And so she's taken it upon herself to help these women out by dressing as a man. And then we have Damien, our hero, who is definitely like a cerebral type of hero, very, very smart. But he has a lot of angst going on in his life because he's very worried that he is going to go mad or go crazy one day because his father did before his father passed away. And so he now finds himself feeling very agoraphobic. He doesn't even want to leave the house anymore. And so this is like a friends to lovers type of romance. They knew each other, you know, years before, and they kissed once, but there's like a misunderstanding going on between the two of them. So that's kind of basically why they didn't get together back then. And so now they are back in each other's lives. And I love how Sophia gets under Damien's skin. And we've had a couple of really great steamy scenes so far. This might be my favorite book of the series so far just because of the premise. I think it's just like so good. Kind of an original premise, having the heroine dress up as a man. I always love that idea in historical romances. But like I said, I've really enjoyed books 1 and 2 of this series as well. So yeah, very excited to dive right into this. This could be a 5-star book. Right now it's a very strong 4-star book, but it could be a 5-star. So very excited to just dive right back into this. But right now it is like 12:30. I am starving. I just DoorDashed some Chick-fil-A and I'm very excited about that. So with all that being said, I will talk to you guys later. What is up, my dudes? It is Saturday, so it's been a couple days since I last updated you guys. What you doing? You want to come say hi to everybody? You want to say hi to the camera? There's little Nina again. She has been the star of this vlog so far, hasn't she? She's wearing a really cute Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer t-shirt, because 'tis the season. So late last night, I finished The Lady Hellion by Joanna Shupe. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a solid way to end this Regency romance series from Joanna Shupe. A fun time for sure. I really liked the amount of angst between Damien and Sophia. I really liked the premise of Sophia doing these investigations, dressing as a man. What are you doing, baby girl? What are you doing? What are you doing, baby girl? Are you performing for the camera? She's so goofy. There was even a scene where Damien fought a duel over Sophia's honor, but it wasn't a duel with guns like you see in Hamilton or Bridgerton. It was a duel with swords, which is way more fun in my opinion, and more entertaining, and also more safe, I would say. But so yeah, this was really great. I love how this turned out. And then I started just a little while ago The Winter Bride by Anne Gracie. So this is book 2 in her Chance Sisters series. I read The Autumn Bride last month and oh my God, you guys, I absolutely adored that book so much because this is a series all about found family. And I adore a good found family story. And so when you combine historical romance with found family, it's gonna be a match made in heaven for me personally. So just to set up the premise for you that's covered a lot in The Autumn Bride, we have Abby and Jane, who are sisters. Abby works in London as a governess. She's the older sister to Jane, and she finds out from this woman named Daisy that Jane is being held in a brothel against her will and is going to be forced to work in said brothel. But Daisy and Abby are able to get her out of that situation. And then Daisy and this other young woman named Damaris also escape from the brothel. And so basically Abby and Jane take in Damaris and Daisy as sisters, even though they're not related. And then Abby, our main character of The Autumn Bride, she ends up striking a friendship with this older woman of the aristocracy named Lady Beatrice. And so Lady Beatrice ends up taking in all 4 of these girls, and it's just such a sweet and wholesome and fun and charming family dynamic that we have going on between these 4 girls and Lady Beatrice. And so The Autumn Bride, the romance in that one was between Abby and then Max, who is Lady Beatrice's nephew. Whereas in book 2, The Winter Bride, I'm just about 10% into this, so not very far at all. So it looks like this romance is going to be between Damaris, who is one of Abby and Jane's surrogate sisters, I guess you could say, and Freddie, who is Max's best friend. Max was the hero from book 1, like I said, and Freddie is a rake in every sense of the word, and so I'm already really looking forward to seeing how this dynamic plays out, because Damaris is very closed off and guarded in a lot of ways because of her past. We don't know yet her full past. We kind of learned some things about her in book 1, and then we're starting to explore her past so far in this book. But because of that, she's very guarded. And then you have Freddie, who is a rake. And I think that's just gonna be a really fun dynamic between the two of them once Damaris kind of starts to let her walls down. And these are both characters that never, ever, ever, ever want to get married. But of course, by the end of this book, they're gonna get married to each other. And so, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing how this book plays out, because I loved book 1, gave it 5 stars. Like, honestly, one of my favorite books that I've read this year. It was so good, and I have a feeling the rest of the series is gonna be just as great. So yeah, I have made some more progress on Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I am on page, like, well, maybe even further than this, somewhere around like page 440 at this point. And y'all, sometimes rereads are wild because I completely forgot the direction that this plot goes in, and I am like so locked in now. As much as I was enjoying like the first half of this book, now where the plot is and where some of our characters are, I am like obsessed, and I cannot wait to read more. I did realize that I read this book for the first time in 2019, so it's been over 5 years. So it's not surprising that I would forget at least some things that happened in this book, but like, for real, I forgot like the whole plot of this basically. So it almost feels like I'm reading this for the first time, which is really fun. So that's really it for this update. I don't have much else to say. I do want to pick up some Christmas romance novellas, and of course I'm in a historical romance mood, so I'm looking up different like Christmassy historical romance novellas. I've been able to find quite a few on Hoopla and Kindle Unlimited and things like that. So yeah, that's it for now, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hello everyone. It's Wednesday, my dudes, and I'm actually going to wrap up this first Vlogmas vlog because I am getting ready to go on a trip to New York City with my mom. We're leaving Friday. Today's Wednesday, like I said. And so I'm gonna be there from the 12th to the 17th. And so I wanted to go ahead and end this vlog and edit it and upload it first before starting a new vlog, and then I'll be out of town and busy and stuff, so I wouldn't have time to edit anyway. So yeah, I'm going to New York because I am auditioning for Juilliard. I'm gonna get into this more in next week's vlog. I'm gonna film a starting update for that vlog probably tomorrow, and I'll go into all of that. But yes, I am auditioning for Juilliard. It is a 3-day audition process, so I wanted to make sure that I was definitely there for all 3 of those days, plus a couple of extra days to see shows and, you know, be a tourist and all of those things. I love New York so much, and this is a very exciting time for me, but also very nerve-wracking at the same time, and there's just a lot happening. So first things first, we did put our Christmas tree up over here. We actually got a brand new Christmas tree this year, my sister and I. First things first, I got some happy mail from Samantha, from Books with Samantha. She is the sweetest person ever, and she always sends Christmas cards out to her bookish friends, and I'm sure her non-bookish friends as well. Look at this card. It says Merry Christmas. So adorable. She also sent, oh, I love this. It's an ornament, and it's like a stack of books with like a cup of hot chocolate on top. Adorable. Definitely gonna put this on my tree. My sister and I have not put up ornaments yet on this tree, but when we do, trust that this is going to be on there. She wrote a note. Oh my God, Samantha, you have the most beautiful handwriting ever. I hate my handwriting. It's like the one thing about me that I hate. But yours is so beautiful. Oh, so sweet. Thank you so much, Samantha. I love you, love you, love you. And if you guys are not following her, like, what are you doing? But yeah, I am leaving Friday for New York. So the next couple of days are just gonna be packing, making sure that I have everything I need for my audition and for the trip in general. Yeah, today I did some yard work, some very much needed yard work. And so that's why my hair is wet, is that I had to take a shower after all that because I was pretty gross. Okay, reading update time. Queen of Air and Darkness. We are slowly but surely making progress through this literal brick of a book. It is almost 900 pages and I am currently on page 689. So I have like a little less than 200 pages, yep, left. And I was listening to this audiobook while doing my yard work this morning. So that was good because I listened to like a good 3 hours of this. I really like need to finish this by tomorrow because there is no way in hell that I'm bringing this big ass brick with me to New York. So this needs to happen. Loving this reread. Oh my God, this is gonna be a 5-star this time around. First time I read it, it was 4 stars, and I definitely saw a lot of flaws in this book, but on reread and with the audiobook is just so well done. Like, this is amazing. A really great third and final book to this trilogy. And something that I've been thinking about is how Cassandra Clare's writing has improved over the years, over the decades of her writing the Shadowhunter Chronicles universe. This is the 3rd full series in this universe. And I feel like this is definitely her most like sophisticated series yet, like the most sophisticated writing. There's also just some very beautiful and lyrical writing in this. Not everything is written that way, but like definitely any romantic scenes in particular are just beautifully written. And I just have a new appreciation for this particular series, this cast of characters, upon reread as well. So I'm very excited to, you know, finish this last chunk of the book, and then I'll give my final thoughts about this reread in next week's vlog. Then I'm currently in the middle of The Winter Bride by Anne Gracie. I'm 63% of the way through this, and I am loving this. Most likely going to be a 5-star read. I have just about like 4.5 hours left of this audiobook, and it is so good. I love how Damaris and Freddie's relationship has been growing and evolving over the course of this book. Basically, pretty much at the very beginning, these two enter into a fake engagement, basically to get Freddie's parents off his back about marrying and having an heir. And in return, Freddie buys a cottage for Damaris. This has always been like her lifelong dream, to have a quaint little cottage out in the English countryside where she can just raise chickens and bees and little creatures like that and just live on her own. They both have tragic pasts for sure, so they have their reasons for going into this fake engagement. They definitely don't intend to actually get married, but of course they're falling for each other, so things are getting complicated, and I just love this. I love how Anne Gracie has developed these two characters from book 1. I enjoyed both of their characters in book 1, but we're just seeing so much more to their characters in this installment, and I'm just obsessed. I love this author's writing style. It reminds me a little bit of Tessa Dare in the sense of humor. It's very like charming, kind of whimsical, quirky, you know. These books are also very accessible in my opinion. I think they're very easy to read and very easy to get into. I do want to point out too that I am finding these books or these romances to have like a lower amount of heat and steam. So if you are a reader who prefers that, I definitely would recommend this series. I think book 1 had maybe one steamy scene, I want to say. And so far this book hasn't had any. It's definitely much more focused on the, you know, emotional romance between the hero and heroine. And I just love this cast of characters, this found family. You know, it's so delightful to read about. Every time I, you know, restart the audiobook, after where I left off, I'm just like immediately giddy and happy because of, just the overall vibe of this author's writing. And I love the banter between the characters as well. With this fake engagement, we have a lot of Damaris purposefully trying to get under Freddie's parents' skin because they're pretty awful to Freddie. And so I love how Damaris, you know, purposefully pisses them off and gets under their skin and stuff. And so that's been really fun. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for Vlogmas week 1. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited for what the rest of Vlogmas is going to be. Very excited for the rest of this month and documenting my experiences with you guys. So with all that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog. I would love it if you would leave a comment down below just telling me how your December is going, how your reading is going, if there's any books that you've been obsessed with lately. I always love getting recommendations from you guys in the comments. I would love it if you would leave a like and subscribe, and I thank you so much in advance if you do. And with all of that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!